Tell me about the good old days.
Shall we talk about the good old days?
Take me back to yesterday. Yeah. What are you thinking about, Aged Boomer?
All right. I think we had mentioned this briefly. We're going to be off the cuff with this
Yeah.
tonight, but we were talking about how you and I have our retro hobbies, right?
Yeah.
And I guess you do a lot of buying stuff online. Maybe you do it in yard sales or whatnot too. But like, I guess when you're buying action figures, maybe I'll talk a little bit about my NES game journey because that's been my big retro.
Well, what I've been getting into, and I don't know how retro this is, but getting into the old action figures, buying up, doing my dioramas and getting those figures that I didn't have as a kid. I'm actually getting to the point where you have people online that argue back and forth, just like people like to argue about everything online. It seems we have a lot of people that like to complain and moan and bitch really about whether or not people are buying original toys or bootleg, remanufactured, custom figures.
Yeah.
And
it's the same in the gaming community with
and the I feel that argument goes completely out the window when you have to pay $400, for a loose blue snaggletooth, and it's like, you know what? For $40, I can get one from Stan Solo that is identical. I could even get it on a custom card if I wanted to, which it didn't come on a card.
It's not authentic.
It's not authentic, but it doesn't matter to me because it looks good in my diorama or my play set. And you don't like it, none of your business, do your own thing. I mean, I saw somebody selling on eBay broken pieces of a blue snaggletooth, but it was original and it was for hundreds of dollars. I'm like, you've got to be kidding me.
Well, what if you're trying to reassemble a blue? You might need those pieces, and they're worth hundreds of dollars alone. Just that's how rare blue snaggletooth is. I'm sorry, I'm being devil's advocate.
No. I get what you're saying. Look, I am full. It's your money. If you want to spend it that way, that's perfectly fine. I just don't dig somebody telling me, looking down at me for what I'm doing. Their problem is, well, someday you're going to die. And then, your relatives are going to take and sell that on eBay and someone's going to get taken. It's like, you know what? If someone pays hundreds of dollars for something in an eBay auction without saying, I want to see a picture of the, copyright on the leg that says Stan Solo 2010 or whatever it is, okay, and doesn't know that's not an original, that's their own fault, okay? Because I see it all the time. I see people trying to sell Stan Solo figures online, and it's like, everybody knows. I want to see a picture of the copyright, because it's not like Stan Solo is making like a real counterfeit that says, 1971, Kenner or something like that. It says Stan Solo and the year that it was done. He is not trying to cheat anybody. So if you don't pay attention to that stuff, caveat emptor, my friend. But yeah, I mean, that's where I'm at. I'm really enjoying the returning to old toys. And I don't care if it's the 1990 buff Luke Skywalker or the 79, Farm Boy, or, a vintage collection one, if I can get it cheaply enough. I don't need it to be highly detailed, and they don't all have to be the same style. As long as I've got the figures represented in my little diorama, I'm a happy camper. And, Netter does the thing where she goes online for me and sees if she can find a deal. And she goes, does it have to have this? And does it have to have that? And I'll usually be like, what are you talking about? And she'll show me, and I'm like, oh no, that's the wrong figure. Or, oh no, that's fine. Yeah. I don't care if there's some wear on the side or, whatever. So yeah.
So the wear on the side doesn't matter as much to you. Okay.
Sometimes, especially if it's an original figure and you're getting it cheap, sometimes the wear makes it look like, hey, it looks like it might have been the figure I played with for all these years.
Well, there you go.
There's
It has,
nothing wrong with
has character.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Especially with like the stormtroopers. You want the stormtroopers to have some scuff marks on them and whatnot, especially if you're doing a Tatooine, diorama, right?
Yeah, exactly. And do you use real sand in the Tatooine diorama? Or I guess you use the fish sand. Do you buy that in a pet store maybe?
Well, what you do is you go out and you get that the kind of sand that they put in a sandbox.
Yeah.
You spray down whatever surface you're using with glue, and then you sprinkle it on, let it dry, shake it off, and there you go.
Cool.
It's more realistic than the old plastic, Jawa playset that they had. That was just smooth tan plastic. Nothing against that, because those were kind of cool, and I had really special, wonderful memories of those too. But yeah.
Okay.
How about you? What's your big passion as far as
with me currently? It changes every now and then, but it's NES,
yeah.
old NES
I knew
game
you were going to say
cartridges.
that. Yeah.
No, it's this was a recent thing. I mean, over the years, I would buy one every now and then. But the trouble with the NES, I have people online. There's a segment of the retro gaming community that's like, retro gaming is the best or whatever. It's better than anything new. And I'm like, they made the old consoles great and they don't break. Well, no, the NES, I'm sorry, that thing breaks. Okay, that when they brought it out over here, they designed it like a VCR. You stick your cartridge in, you press down, and then you turn it on. It was supposed to resemble in some ways a VCR when they brought it out here in North America, because the Atari kind of destroyed the console markets. They were trying to show consumers, or customers, this is different. Okay, but I got this rather pricey, very fancy NES. HD NES you can hook up to an HD TV that this company makes, okay? And I decided, since I'm getting this thing, I can fulfill my life's ambition and have a full-on NES collection. Because the trouble is, you can get, like, even on modern consoles, you can buy collections of certain series, like the Mega Man games or the Castlevania games. Those are the Wall Chicken games, that.
Yeah.
Okay, and other things, but you can't get everything. Like the old Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles games, those were only released on their consoles. They never got re-released on anything.
Yeah.
Yes, Ball Chicken, yes. Don't get me started. I'm just saying, if you're playing that game and you're wasting so much time and getting hit by trying to find the Wall Chicken, you're doing something wrong. You're just supposed to do
wrong, right.
Okay. Anyway, I want to talk about that. Anyway, but I don't need to buy those cartridges. I have the originals from when I was a kid. Okay, but the thing is, though, you go online and cartridges are in different condition. Okay, now some are cheap and common. You can get some for $10. I think I got the Goonies 2 for $10. Okay, that's the sequel to the Goonies game they made for the NES. Okay, that never made it to North America, so it was weird when we got the Goonies 2 and we're like, was there a sequel to the movie we didn't know about? But anyway, okay. Okay, but basically, you have to check to see if it's originals. For instance, if it's a rare game, like one of these games that goes for like $200, $300, and someone's selling it for like $30, and it's being sold from Hong Kong.
Yeah,
watch out. Okay, because that's not an original; it's a bootleg. And people will complain about the bootleg, saying that they're made out of bad materials that could short out your console. They won't work right because it's all circuits and stuff, and maybe they didn't make it right. Okay, I don't know.
Have you ever gotten one of those?
I've never gotten a bootleg because I know what to look for. I've been lucky as far as that goes. I have gotten a couple of reprints, okay, where an actual professional company will go to the people that own the original game and say, hey, do you mind if we re-release this game, now? And they said, okay, you pay the rights to us and we'll let you re-release a new NES cartridge. Sort of like how they might make a re-release of an old Star Wars figure, So sometimes this happens. I've done that with Super Nintendo cartridges and other things, but yeah, for the most part, I'm buying originals, and labels come in different shapes. Let's say you want to find a really rare, like a harder to find game, but you can find a cheaper copy, but the label's all torn up. You can buy it and actually buy a replacement label from a company that makes it for like $5, and then you can scrape the old label up with the new one. Now, of course, the outside is not going to be authentic anymore, but the inside is authentic, and that's what matters to me, because it's just a shell, basically. You can even buy replacement shells too if you need to, and buy like stickers to the back. I have a couple cartridges like that. But then but I gotta tell you, I almost don't even want to recommend this hobby to anybody because I have a very sensitive, pricey system, and but it's also very sensitive, right? And if your cartridge ain't clean, the game is not going to play properly. It's going to get like a staticky screen or whatever. So you got to clean these things.
Yeah.
And there's some of these cartridges I've cleaned over and over and over again, and they're still not right. Most of them work fine now, but there are a few of them that don't work. So, and I started to think the other day that I'm cleaning these cartridges, and I'm spending more time cleaning the cartridges than I'm playing actual video games. And I'm thinking maybe there's something to be said about.
Is it possible that it's just your machine? You need, it needs to be like tuned up or something?
No, because the majority of the cartridges work fine, and and sometimes even after you clean them well, then they work fine. It's not the machine. Trust me, I thought about that too. I'm like, okay. I did buy a cleaner for the machine just in case. It's this fake cartridge that you put up and down, up and down, up and down.
Sure.
And that's supposed to get any gunk out of there. But it's a brand new state of the art device. The people that make these things, they put a lot of effort into it. But yeah, I don't know. It's one of these weird hobbies. But then you have guys online like in the retro community that will say, "Oh, I'll never play anything emulated," and that sort of thing. It's kind of like with your action figures, right? Where, it has to be authentic. It's not the same because like if you play it on an emulation, the sound is going to be slightly off, or there's going to be lag or something, and all this thing. So you have that in all communities. Yeah.
I mean, and I get that. I do. Unlike with action figures, there's no doubt what you're doing. I mean, you're playing with an emulator. You're playing with an emulator. You don't expect it to be exactly perfectly the same. And I'll tell you, I know what it's like. We were talking the other day about the old Star Wars arcade game. I love that game. But if you were to give me an option to play like kind of an upgraded version of it that had better graphics or something like that, I'd probably enjoy it.
What?
I know it wouldn't be exactly the same, but that was one of the selling features about even when Lucasfilm's games, what was it? X-Wing, the game X-Wing. It was light years ahead of that Star Wars arcade game, but it was still a first person, playing in an X-Wing. And I'm like, this is really, really awesome, So yeah, I could live with that. That would be cool. But I get you. Look, it's for crying out loud, just let people enjoy what they enjoy. And why do you care what other people do? Really?
You have to enjoy the things the way I enjoy them. Okay. Go ahead.
We really need to get over ourselves and just go, you know what? Live and let live, for crying out loud.